Hey princess, how you doing today? My name is Princess and you are a princess as well. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you stick to the end and subscribe, okay? Now, one of the people that the enemy does use to derail us from our path and our walk with Christ in finding purpose and building purposeful things with the Lord is our best friend. And as a female, as a girl, I do know one or two things, and it has to do with female friendships and best friends. I'm not someone who sort of looks out for best friends. I don't really like the name best friends. And that was until I met this one, I'll call her a lady. She was so charismatic. She was as charismatic as I was. We would do things together at a very high point, and it was so fun being around this one lady. Like, I had many female friends, but this one hit a little bit different. There was a little spice to it that I couldn't deny, but at the same time, it felt like we both wanted different things from the world. But of course, as a good friend, you wouldn't want to you won't want to, because of your differences, just call the friendships off or stop being friends with someone. More so, that's why you think, let me apply grace. So grace was applied from both ends of this story, but at the end of the day, the truth came out to be that this one friend was the person that the enemy was using to stop me, basically, and discourage me from the things that God has had for me. And I'm in no means trying to come up here and act like one victim of a circumstance. We all have had experiences, and I have had to go through this process, and I'm still healing from it, to come out to this side where I can admit to myself that I did her wrong in a lot of other ways too. So I am not a victim. I am not coming here as a victim. I am coming here to share sort of like a testimony, but also a story to help other people, because this is something that happens and many people don't want to talk about it, because who do you even talk about it with? This is, in terms of female friendships, how we are. We do things together. I went out with this friend. Everybody knew that we were friends. Your mom, your dad, and your sister too knew that we were best friends, because we were loud with it. And that's one thing about it. Two things, there's tea. We were for sure loud with it. By the end of the day, especially when you're walking with Christ, if you have people who have open doors, the enemy would definitely use them. And if you ask me, what are open doors in the spirit realm? Open doors are generational curses that you haven't broken, that gives the enemy legal right to sort of use you and abuse you and torment you as well. So if you are friends with someone who, is kind of on the right standing with the Lord, and you have an open door in terms of generational curses or sexual sin, lying, pride, and all of the above, the enemy can use you to work against that person, deter that person from his or her work with the Lord. So in my case, it was my best friend, right? I shared a lot of things with my best friend. My dreams, my aspirations, even the visions that God would give me, I shared with her, because I trusted her. I trusted that, because she had a knowing of what it is to be with Christ. I felt like, when I was new in my walk with Christ, I just felt like it was the right thing to do. She was my best friend, and I don't usually call people best friends, but this one I did call her my best friend, because she was so, even till today I cry. I'm not gonna lie, I do cry because I miss her, but at the same time, this is why I'm making this video. I don't think I would have been able to spot this or even detach myself from her if it was not because of the Lord. God told me and showed me different signs in dreams and even in the physical realm that person is not my friend anymore. And I felt really bad, because I in my head, I'm like, Lord, this person, you kind of like been using this person for me. So what are you talking about? Like, this person is not my friend. Because he would always be telling me that this person will betray you. And for those who maybe are still new in Christ, God does speak to me. I've been able to get close enough to him to know when he's speaking like an abrupt sentence. So God does speak to me in sentences and words, and I have plain out discussions with the Lord. So it's not really a thing where I have to wait till I get like a vision or something. God actually speaks to me in the day. So that's how I know, because he kept telling me, write it down, this person would betray you. And I was a little bit confused, like, child, what are you talking about? Like, this is my best friend. One thing about it, that's one thing I know. So it was a little bit hard for me until I went into my Job season. So I know that many Christians don't talk about this, and I'm going to talk about it. Your Job season is a season where you essentially lose everything, and people around you start to blame you for losing those things because they strongly believe that you did something for God to basically turn his face away from you and not provide for you and not be there for you. And that's not always the case. That's actually not the case. The reason why you are going through certain kind of suffering, the reason why you're going through your suffering is because the Lord wants to reveal the people around you. You know, in Proverbs chapter 17, verse 17, it says that a friend is basically explains how there's a difference between a friend and a brother/sister. I learned that the hard way. There are people who are sisters and who are brothers. Those are people who stay with you in times of adversity. But when it comes to friendship, people just kind of stay when it's good. When it's bad, they run away. And anybody who you call your best friend should and always should be a sister or a brother. It shouldn't just be someone who's up for vibes, and because you guys are both high on life and you guys have things going for you, suddenly you feel like that's the perfect person for you. No, it should be a person who is going to stay, basically. And some of us, we don't even know who's going to stay and who's going to leave because we're so high on life ourselves. Like I said, I'm not a victim. So I'm not trying to come in here trying to, talk about, oh, this person did this to me. No. Okay, that's one thing about it. No. And I'm going to raise this up because while y'all see my little cleavage, I do like to show my cleavage, so yeah. So I'm not a victim, right? So, but in that season, right, even till now, I understand that sometimes God allows you to lose things so that he can expose the people around you who are actually just there to gain something. Some people are just around you just because they want some clout from your life. You might not value yourself. And by the way, not knowing your value is the biggest liability. Is your biggest liability if you do not know your value, especially as a young lady or a woman. It is your biggest liability because the people who can spot your value for you would use you. Yeah, they would use you. So I didn't know my value. I didn't even know what I bring to the table. I didn't feel like I was pretty. Yeah, I know that's crazy. I know. But I did not feel like I was pretty enough. I did not feel confident, and I'm still working on it. It's something that the Lord is still working on with me because I'm not perfect, right? But I have been able to generate this sort of inner self-confidence, which I would also be talking about in this channel. So I lost a lot of things, and for the first part, she was actually there for me. She was she was there for me. I thought that's what I thought. But then the Lord revealed things in the dreams that she's blocking me. She's a little bit jealous, and jealousy is quite normal, but it happens to us. It happens to the best of us. I mean, I don't think there's anyone who's above jealousy because we are insatiable human beings. So there's always something that we want. There's always something that we're looking forward to. And if we don't have it and we're waiting on God for it, we're praying for it and we don't have the answered prayers yet, and you see someone just sort of, walk by with the same thing you're praying for, and you're like, hello. It's like, the same thing with kids. Some people pray for kids. They're like, God, please, I just want one child. And then you see this random lady who doesn't even want their child. Is like, no, I don't want you. And you're like, you are so ungrateful. But low key, you're jealous because you're like, how is it that you have this thing and I don't? It feels like you are undeserving of it. And that's exactly what favor is. That's exactly what grace is. You are actually undeserving of it. And some people abuse the grace of God, and some people don't even recognize it in their life. Even at that, they still abuse it. So a lot of people have things that other people are praying for and they don't even recognize it. Because if you know your value, and if you know the value of your own life and the cross that you have to carry, you would protect it. Yes, you would protect what you have. You would guard it. The way God guards us, you would guard what is yours. You would value it more. And I've had to go through seasons where I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of feeling like my family is not perfect. My life is not perfect. And I'm always complaining. And I didn't intend to complain, but like, obviously, I still complained about everything. And people are looking at me like, at least you have this, at least you have that. But I wasn't looking at it. So I wasn't guarding it. So the thing I had was open to not just criticism, but open to be stolen, if you get what I mean. And I am going to use an example. For example, let me say a relationship. Let's say you have, or you're someone who generally you don't really look for men, or okay, let's say marriage, for example. You got married and you're in this phase and you're living your life, but you're not seeing the value in your marriage. And someone who has been praying for marriage, God, please give me a husband, give me a wife, is looking at you like, at least you have the marriage, let's start there. You have that. And you're complaining about it. Essentially, what would happen is that the person will have hidden jealousy towards you. But because you're not grateful for what you have, the person can't tell you, or the person can't even come and admit it to themselves that I am jealous of this person, because the person that they're jealous of is even ungrateful. So gratitude is the key to unlocking breakthrough, and is also the key to, valuing your things and valuing what you have. In the season, in my job season, I spent a lot of time realizing that there are lots of things that God blessed me with that I did not value. I did not thank him for. I didn't realize that I had freely compared to other people, and that's why people felt like I didn't deserve these things. But the thing is, I didn't deserve them, but God gave me for a reason. And when I recognize that, and I keep recognizing a lot of things that the Lord has done for me, even when I'm crying and I'm like, Lord, I need breakthrough in an area, I still try my best to recognize what the Lord is already doing in my life. Because, let's start there. There's life. And as long as there's life, there's hope. So I'm just trying to narrate how it's possible for your friend to be jealous of you. So that happened, and I was the ungrateful friend, or rather I was the ungrateful person from her lens, because I had what she wanted, which is probably, I don't know, it depends on her. And she, on the other hand, she kept looking at other people's lives and comparing herself with her own life, so from jealousy, it goes up a little bit higher to resentment. And then resentment builds envy. So it's like jealousy, resentment, then envy. It's like, that's how it goes. And in my case, it grew that way without even realizing it, because we both didn't see each other. We were close, but we didn't see each other. And it was hard to see each other because we're both distracted by many things by life, so I wish we did, but we didn't. And I believe that if it's meant to be, God would bring it back around when we are both ready to be in each other's lives. And this also applies to relationships as well. Sometimes God allows these things to happen just so that you can understand and know the value of people, and friendships and relationships, because sometimes we are graced with these things but we still don't know the value. So I'm not going to say that I'm not learning from my mistakes and I'm not learning from the separation, even though God kept telling me that she will betray you, she will betray you. I believe that was just God trying to tell me and warn me about the people that the enemy is using in my life. And I'm grateful for that. But at the same time, there are still lessons that I have learned. One of the lessons I learned is not to overshare. Stop oversharing. And I know it's easier said than done. I still have, I'm still in that learning process of knowing what to share and what not to share. But it's a gradual process. So this is how it feels. Like you can see me in real time processing feelings that are sort of hard to talk about, because I'm not gonna lie, I do still cry when I miss her, and I may cry at just by the way. But I still know that our separation was for the better. And I know that a lot of people come online to speak about these situations, but they speak from a victimhood mentality. And I'm not saying that we're not victims of a situation. Yeah, you can be victimized, but when you let go of that victim mindset, it's easier for you to learn things better. So you don't learn it from a praise perspective. Oh, I was just a little prey and the person was a predator. It can be in most cases. Yes, it exists. I'm not going to say it doesn't exist, but at the same time, when you see yourself as a conqueror, as a survivor, that's the major word, as a survivor, you have more grace for people who hurt you, who betrayed you. You know, in Joseph, in the story of Joseph in the Bible, in Genesis, it says, the enemy wanted to use you for my good, but God turned, and I'm paraphrasing, but God turned things around the enemy wanted to use you for evil upon my life, but God turned things around for my good. So there are many people that the enemy will be using to basically end you, kill you, because the enemy does come to kill, steal, and destroy. But then God turns that story around. And when you think about life through the lens of a survivor, a conqueror, and someone who's growing and learning every day, you wouldn't feel bad about things that have happened to you in the past, especially when your best friend turns to your worst enemy. You wouldn't feel necessarily bad. You would still be grateful that, oh my God, God loves me to reveal things to me. Even though it was in a harsh manner, the walls were broken down and the veil was lifted from my eyes, God still loves me. Even though I know many people who come here with the innocence in their heart and they might mean well, I really want women, especially us young women, to understand things from a survivor's lens, not from a victim's lens. And that's the end of this video. With my take, I hope you learned a thing or two, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, okay? I'll be back. Bye, princess. Bye. Bye. Joy.